came and instructed Vyasadeva about writing Srimad Bhagavatam. Basically, he diagnosed the mistake in Vyasadev's presentation, that although he has written so many scriptures, Vedanta Sutra, Mahabharata, but still he is not feeling satisfied. So the time has come, and basically he diagnosed the disease of Vyasadeva, that although you have written all these scriptures, but you have not sufficiently glorified Srimad Bhagavatam or sufficiently glorified the Lord's glories. You have put more emphasis on Dharma, the Kam, Moksha than glories of the Lord. So these words cannot satisfy the hankering of the people. So materialistic people, they will get attracted to those topics. But on the other hand, even the transcendental glories of the Lord, even if he is not composed properly, abhaddhavatyapi, means like if something is narrated or composed, if it is related to the Lord, even if it is, there may be some faults, but still because it contains the glories of the Lord, it's his name and glories, so the saintly persons accept that. So that is the nature of transcendental nature. So without bhakti, all other things are not valuable. Only when bhakti is there, even all other activities will be perfected. And there is no fall, like even in fall down, there is no loss. And therefore, intelligent people, they will only try to attain which is not attained even in the 14 planetary systems. So that's how the intelligent people always try to achieve. And even if someone falls down, but they don't undergo material existence like others, because they are always remembering the embrace of the Lord, so they will again come back. So therefore, you are the incarnation of the Supreme Lord only, your expansion. So you know the Lord's activities. So you meditate on the Lord's activities and write them, so that people will be able to understand the transcendental character of Lord and his glories. So all the blended people, they had concluded that for all the austerities, tapasya, sacrifices, everything, the ultimate aim is that to glorify the glories of the Supreme Lord. So in this way, Narada Muni has come and he has instructed Vyasadeva to write on Srimad Bhagavatam, like glories of the Lord basically. And in order to give more emphasis, he has given all these instructions, in order to substantiate that, he is giving his own example, how by performing bhakti, he perfected himself. So he narrates his past life. So this is where we stopped at. So he was saying previous kalpa. Previous kalpa means Brahmaji's previous day. So before this creation. So in that he is remembering his past activities. He is saying that I was a son of a maid servant. That maid servant, that Dasi, is engaged in the service of Bhakti Vedantis. So Bhakti Vedantis, those who are following the principles of Vedanta in the tradition of Bhakti. So that means like Vedanta, the ultimate goal of Veda is pointing towards Bhakti. So therefore they are called as Bhakti Vedantas. So these Bhakti Vedantas, they are traveling in the Chaturmasya period. So 4 months they stayed in this ashram. So that time this Narada Muni's mother, she was engaged in their service. And as a boy, he was like 4 or 5 years old only. So that time he was also engaged in their service. So when he was thus engaged, so at that time, they showed their mercy upon this person, and so because of that, he was receiving that shraddha, and he was also, his qualities are mentioned that I have not I was not frivolous. I was controlled, Dante, and I'm not so much attracted to playing. I was just following their instructions. So therefore, they bestowed more mercy. So generally, like for the sages or for the bhakti, it's not that by seeing good or bad qualities they will give shraddha or their krupa. So generally, the sages or great devotees, they don't see good or they miss their giving mercy doesn't depend upon good qualities. Otherwise, we may say that good qualities are the cause of arising bhakti. So, but generally, the cause of arising bhakti is the mercy of devotees only, whether good or bad. They when they show mercy, then that bhakti arises. And when someone is having good qualities out of that, or previous to that, when they seriously take those instructions and then his bhakti may progress very fast. So because he is having all these qualities by their mercy, so he was also very quickly progressed in his bhakti. So he is also alpha bhashani, like he is very talking not more than required. So in this way, he was completely engaged in their service. So this shloka here, like as we mentioned previously, 14 stages are there. Again, the same 14 stages will also come in Narada Muni's this lifetime. So two times it will come here and in the first second chapter. So here this sloka is here implying that first they bestowed their mercy, Satam Krupa. Because of that, he got the opportunity to serve these devotees. Then, because of that, by serving them, he has attained Shraddha to perform bhakti, and he has taken shelter of Guru Padashra. He has taken shelter of them, hearing from them. So then next shloka implies that he starts practicing bhajana kriya and he anartha nivritti takes place. So, always first stage is satam krupa. The sages will give mercy. So that time when someone performs that mahat seva, then shraddha will arise. So then he mentions that Uchishtilepan Anumodito Vijay. By their mercy, one time I took their remnants. So, and by doing so, then all my sins were at once eradicated. So, this implies that like he is engaged in their service. So, it is like he has Bhajaneshu Spruha, he has got desire to perform devotional service, and he starts performing the devotional service. And by performing the devotional service, all his uh, anarthas, the unwanted things are going away. So by taking their remnants, all his like the most of the anarthas got away. And I was purified in my heart. So therefore, the transcendental topics that they are discussing that became very attractive to me. So that means he has like passed through the stages of Nishtha and Ruchi. So when the topics of the Lord, when they become very attractive, so that is the stage of Ruchi. And when he steadily performing without ups and downs, that is the stage of Nishtha. So he has passed through Nishtha and Ruchi. So the devotional activities became very attractive to me. And then in their company, when I'm also here, so when the great devotees, that their remnants, they are said to be like very quickly one advances. That is also is shown here. And when the taste for hearing has arisen, then he is like in their association is constantly hearing those activities, and that listening attentively as he has developed bhava for the Lord. So the asakti for the Lord is increased, and even rati here means bhava. So the bhava has increased in their association. So just in 4 months with their association, just by serving them in their association, hearing Krishna Kada, and by all these things, he is progressing very advanced very quickly in their association. So taste bhava has attained. So in that in their association, like I got a taste for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and my attention was very fixed up on the Lord. And at that time, I could understand that only by in ignorance I am considering everything as separate from the Lord, and I and the Lord are actually transcendental. So in this way, he has kind of developed the stage of prema also, 4 months association. So what are their activities? They are always hearing about Krishna, discussing with each other about Krishna, and they are completely engrossed. And so my devotional service is completely flowing, and my lower modes, Rajaguna and Tamoguna, has gone away, completely vanished, and I was situated in the stage of prema. So, and not only that, I was very much attached to those sages. I loved them, and I was very much. I was myself controlling all the senses and strictly followed whatever they are saying with my body and mind. So because of that, they bestowed some very confidential bhakti yoga. So they have given the knowledge of the Lord which is very much confidential. So he kind of attained all those knowledge they have given, and then by that the um, by using that knowledge one will be able to go back to Godhead. So such is the effect of that secret, most confidential knowledge. So after like later on, they also instructed him about the like they while instructing this person may in future like he needs to understand everything. So therefore they instructed the knowledge of like jnana and other activities, which when it is directed towards bhakti, that will destroy all the other things. So here, like bhakti process means engaging in Shravana Kirtana, that is like direct bhakti process. So now they are saying how by using karma, like one can achieve, one can like by the process of karma, how they can achieve perfection even by using karma. So when the process of karma, when it is dedicated to the Lord's service, so that time that will act like a medicine. So generally, the karma which is not dedicated in this world is a cause of bondage when it is not dedicated to the Lord's service. But the same activities when they are dedicated to the Lord, so that will like act like a medicine. So here they give one example. Like for example, some disease may come by eating a lot of milk, but or some ghee. But the same uh, disease, the same milk in the form of curd may stop that disease. So the same substance which is in other form, it may destroy the cause of disease. So similarly, karma in this world will cause bondage, but the same karma, when we direct it towards the Lord, we dedicate our activities to the service of the Lord, that has the potential to destroy the effects. So here all actions in karma yoga means daily duties, so periodic duties and all the kama karmas, everything when it is offered to the Lord, they are capable of destroying karma. So therefore, by performing those karma for the Lord's satisfaction, knowledge will arise. So knowledge of the Lord by like all the activities when it is performed for the Lord's satisfaction, that knowledge will come. So here, when with that knowledge, one will be able to uh, continuously remember the Lord's name and form while doing all their activities. Here, maybe to understand it simply, like there are different processes mentioned by acharyas, like pure bhakti yoga, where all activities include Shravanam Kirtanam, and there are mixed processes like Bhakti Mishra Karma or Karma Mishra Bhakti. So when the element of karma is more, the element of bhakti is less. That is called as karma yoga. is also called as Bhakti Mishra Karma. So there, for every activity, even karma, jnana, to give success, there should be an element of bhakti to give success. Without the element of bhakti, even karma also will not give results. But when that bhakti is like a very small portion, which is like a also part of karma, so therefore it is called as karma yoga only. But Krishna, on the other hand, in Bhagavad Gita, many places he recommends even pure bhakti, but sometimes like those people like who cannot do that pure bhakti, he also recommends to the karma mishra bhakti, where bhakti element is more, and whatever they perform, their activities can be dedicated to the Lord. For example, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yad karoshi yadashnasi yajjuhosi tadasi yad yattapasyasi kaunteya tatkurushva madarpana. So Arjuna, yad karoshi, whatever you do, yad karoshi yadashnasi, whatever you eat, yad tapasyasi, whatever tapasya you do, yad tapasyasi kaunteya, yad karoshi yadashnasi, yad juhosi, whatever sacrifice you do, yad tapasyasi, so whatever charity you give. So all those things, yad karoshi yadashnasi, yad juhosi, yad dadasi, charity. Yad tapasyasi kaunteya tatkurushva madarpana. You do it as an offering to me. So there Krishna is basically recommending that karma mishra bhakti yoga, where bhakti element is completely there and his desire is also to achieve the Lord, and he is performing activities and dedicating all those things to the Lord. So completely his mind and everything is like he's performing activity and dedicating that activity to the Lord. So also while doing that work, he is also remembering Lord's glories, name, fame. So in this way, he is like his goal is also to achieve the Lord, and his activities are also dedicated to God. So in this way, that activities will give ultimately success. So that is also one of the recommendation is initially giving to Arjuna, and later he gives his eligibility to practice complete pure bhakti in the end by saying Sarvadharma Paritaja. So in this way, Narada Muni is also saying that he also gave instructions on pure bhakti, and even for karma to get succeed, it should be fully endowed with bhakti. It's all the activity should be dedicated, and all the time he should be remembering the Lord and dedicating those activities. That way, that the person will get more benefit. So in this way, he explains that even karma yoga can benefit with that bhakti mixed with karma. Karma mixed bhakti will be very much gives knowledge. And then he says that after giving all these instructions on bhakti and karma mixed bhakti, he finally gives that his own mantra that he practices. He says that Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Vasudevaya Dhimahi Pradyumnaya Aniruddhaya Namah Shankarshanaya. Four personalities he mentions that I offer my respectful obeisances to Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Aniruddha and Pradyumna. And this personality, these four persons, while meditating their mantra using these four forms, one should worship their deity while doing while chanting that mantra and offering the articles. So that person, if someone is worshipping the Lord like that, that person is worthy of being seen, or the Lord is the actual seer, and one should see that worship this way, like he's saying that one should worship the Lord, which I worship these four personalities using my mantras. So and Vyasadeva, it is understood that he also learned that mantra from his Guru Narada Muni, and he also started worshipping the Lord. It is understood. So then he also said that in this way, I have when the sages they gave me this knowledge, I started practicing that knowledge who gave. Then so many powerful siddhis have gone. Jnanam, I got personal realization of the Lord. And I got Aishwarya. Aishwarya implies so many siddhis also came. But I am not so much interested in those siddhis. So therefore I have attained Swasmin Bhavam. That is finally prema for him. I have attained. So where like I have kind of I'm able to perceive I like the prema state has arisen in me. So in this way, Narad Muni has instructed Vyasadeva, and therefore he instructs to Narada that therefore you, Vyasadeva, since you have heard all these things, you explain all these glories of Krishna for like two benefits you should give. All these glories of Krishna should give two benefits. What is that? Samapyate vidam bhubithitam. So there are so many curious persons are there who want to attain knowledge. So their hankering for the learned people that should be satisfied. So the hankerings of great learned men should be satisfied by your description of the glories of the Lord. And Adhitatmanam Sanklesha Nirvana. There are so many persons who are suffering in this material world. So your glories of this Lord should remove all those sufferings. So that means for the people who are like very much interested to know the Lord's glories and enjoy, for them they should be get attracted to Lord's glories. And for people who are suffering, for them these your glories should remove the suffering. This way, like Bhagavatam is like that scripture which will satisfy even great people, great learned men, and it also satisfy, mitigate the miseries of common people. So in this way, everyone will get this benediction benefited by this Bhagavatam, this literature. So like that he instructed. So when Narada has instructed like that, Vyasadeva will again ask some questions about some more details about his previous life. Like he says that you are you you have what did you do after these sages went? And actually, these all things happened in previous to this day of Brahma, means even before Swayambhu. So that time you have quit that body, but still, how did you remember all these past life? And how did you attain this current body, which is so transcendental? So all these, please narrate to me. So, like, please explain what did you do after they left. So then Narada Muni started saying again his previous history after sages left. So after sages left, like I was with my mother, and I was like looking like I was only 4 or 5 years old at that time, and my mother was the only object of my affection. And for my mother also, I am the only object of affection. We both are so much attached to each other. But the uh, I was not. I was at that time only very small, so therefore I don't know about much places and other worldly knowledge also. So, but one time, due to the will of the Lord, what happened is that one snake bit my mother in her leg. So therefore, she died. So therefore, like she was also trying to take care of Narmani, that boy, but she could not maintain me properly because everything is depending on the Supreme Lord's will. Everyone is good, like a doll in the hands of a puppet. So one time she was bitten by a snake and she died. So I took, like that was like we can imagine, like for a small child, mother the only shelter died. So that is like a shock. That is like a big event in his life. But Narada Muni, being mercy, being achieved the mercy of Bhakti Vedantas, and he is already in the stage of prema. So he took that as a mercy of the Lord. So he was not so much disturbed, and thinking that as a special mercy of the Lord, who always want to bestow some benedictions to the Lord. So, and I left home heading towards north. So while going, I traveled through so many places, towns, villages, farms, mines, agricultural lands, natural forests, so many things. And all those mountains, they are all with so many minerals like gold, silver, copper. Beautiful forests are there, beautiful waters are there, bees, so many nice birds, bees are there. I alone passed through all of them. And sometimes so many rough forests have come, sometimes caves, weeds, so many things have come, so many dangerous, fearful things have come. But I, remembering the Lord's presence, I passed through that. So here, like Prabhupada is that generally a mendicant, Parivrajacharya, his duty is to travel. So he will travel, but although he may be traveling alone, but he is completely depending upon the faith that Lord is always protecting him. So therefore, sannyasi is duty bound to take all these risks without fear. That is what Prabhupada is also indicating. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also traveled, like he is the ideal sannyasi. He is also, he is always giving, distributing the holy name. So, and following in his footsteps, 6 Goswamis are also traveling and bestowing that mercy. So he was traveling, and then he went to particular place. There, some nice water he drank, and he bathed there, and he started meditating on the Supreme Lord. Why? Because he's already at the time he was in the stage of prema, and he was remembering their instructions. He was meditating on the Supreme Lord, Super Soul, presenting in his heart. So as soon as he started uh, meditating, the ध्यायतश्चरणाम्भोजं भावनिर्जितचेतसा औत्कण्ठया आश्रुकलाक्षस्य हृदि आसीन्मयि शनाय हरे. So when I am meditating on my super soul in my heart, I am meditating on his lotus feet, bhava nijjita chetasa, with lot of feelings. My mind also transformed in love. And outkantya means very earnestly I was meditating. Achru kala, so tears started gliding down from my eyes, and slowly the Lord has appeared as Hari. So here, like Lord is always situated in everyone's heart as Lord is always situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. But for devotees who are meditating, he personally, in a future of Bhagavan who is reciprocating, he appears. So slowly he appeared, and he also appeared in my senses. Like I was able to taste the his glories, and I was able to smell his nice smell of his body. So in this way, I was able to understand his appearance in my different senses, and I could hear his sound of his ankle bells and beauty of his face. Then tears started flowing. Then I was with prema. I was completely inundated. All my limbs covered with goosebumps out of excessive prema, premati, bharan and pulakango. Uh, Pulaka means it's like lot of like all the bodies are getting goosebumps like that. Is all these symptoms are coming and filled with delight, and I fainted out of that bliss, and I could not see myself and the Lord or the Lord. So in that, like the stage of prema where he is experiencing, that is like ocean of ecstasy, full of bliss. So all like we hear no? Chaitanya, with Sishtastakam, last two verses where he says that Nainam Galata Shudaraya Daya Gira Krupayata. So there, like tears are coming. So all these stages are coming in the stage of prema. So I experienced all those things. Ocean of mercy. and I was completely absorbed, so I could not see myself as a Lord. And I was in that way, Lord has appeared, I could see him. But suddenly, uh, suddenly I could not see the Lord's form. So it's like Lord gave darshan once. He was able to see and he was completely absorbed, experienced that goosebumps and everything. But slowly he withdrew his form. So he lost the seeing of the Lord's form. So therefore, I was very became very despondent because like someone he has attained great treasure, but someone loses the treasure, again he laments. Like so for example, a wealthy man when he has attained so much wealth, he was like a person who is poor, he may attain a lot of wealth, he delights. When that wealth was lost, again he laments. Like that, I was lamenting. So I was again and I was desiring to see that form again, to experience the Lord, to see that. I was again performing the same process. I was fixing my mind in the heart to see the Lord, but I could not see again. So, so here the one important thing, he could not see the Lord again once he saw. So it's not that some mechanical process by doing which Lord will reveal. It's all the mercy of the Lord. So we put our effort, and by Lord's mercy, the Lord will reveal. Even our chanting also, we are chanting to please the Lord, right? Or we are doing devotional activities to please the Lord. But the progress that we make is basically the mercy of the Lord. It's not out of our own endeavors. But Lord's mercy is proportional to our endeavors. So it's like reciprocal, but at the same time, we should understand that only by Lord's mercy we are able to see. So therefore, there is one very important shloka in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyai sevonmikeh jivvado swayameva swarateta. The Lord's name and form, they are they cannot be grasped by our material senses. Only when the Lord bestows mercy and He reveals, at that time only we will be able to realize the Lord when we engage all our tongue, ear and everything in the service of the Lord. At that time we will be able to realize that Lord. Otherwise, we will not be able to understand. So therefore, only by bhakti with our service attitude, the Lord reveals, that time only we will also be able to experience taste in chanting also. So it is proportional, but it is the mercy of the Lord. But Narada Muni, once he saw the form, he is trying again and again, want to see the Lord again, but he could not see again. So therefore, he was lamenting. So he was dissatisfied. That time, because seeing my lamentation, Lord, he spoke. So he first time he saw the Lord, but later he heard the Lord. The Lord spoke that uh, in this body you will not be able to see me again, but you will not be able to see me again. And but when you purify, like when you like I showed myself once only to you because I want to show my form, like I want to increase your desire to attain me. So therefore I once shown my form to you. So when the devotees, when they develop that hankering to see me again, gradually they will become freed from all the uh, all the material desires. So basically, Lord is saying that in this body, I show myself only once. And when you attain Siddha Deha, you attain perfection, at that time you will be able to completely see my form always. So in order to increase that, I have I have shown once to this form. And Lord is saying that by service to devotees, even for a short time, your intelligence became very much fixed in me. So, like by service, satsevaya, by service to absolute truth and devotees, your intelligence has fixed in me. And therefore, when you give up this body, you will become one of my associate. So therefore, he is giving benediction that you will definitely come to me after you give up this body, because you just by serving devotees and the Lord, even for few days, your intelligence is completely fixed in me. So therefore, you will become an associate. So when the person whose intelligence is engaged in my devotion, so that intelligence will never will be destroyed. So even at the time of creation and destruction, so by my mercy, your memory will not be destroyed. So like Vyasadeva was asked how in your previous life things you are able to remember now also. So there he is answering here that Lord only benedicted Narada that by my mercy your memory will not be destroyed. How I bestowed your mercy, you will be able to remember. So in this way, first time he gave vision, then Lord stopped speaking and he stopped speaking and bestowed mercy that after the end of this life, when you attain Siddhadeha, you will become my associate and your memory will not be destroyed and you will be able to completely see at that point of time. So like that he uh, gave benediction. So that time he stopped speaking and I felt a lot of gratitude with that Lord's mercy, how he bestowed that mercy. And therefore I offered my obeisances into him. So here, like he is present everywhere, Lord. So even though he is not seeing the Lord, understanding that Lord is there, he is offering obeisances. And in this way, he attained mercy. So therefore, he like what are his activities after that? He's saying that Namani Anantasya Hatatra Papatam Guhyani Badrani Mutani Chasmaram Gambaryatam Stushtamanagataspuha Kalam Pratikshan Vimadho Vimutsara. So I was always glorifying the Lord's Nama, the holy names of the Anantasya, of the Supreme Lord who is infinite. Hatatrapa, without any shame, without any fear or shame. And Guhyani, they are all Radrani, Krutani Smaran. All his activities are very confidential and very auspicious activities. I am completely absorbed in remembering them. I was gone Paryatan, I was moving in all the villages and there. Pushtamana, completely satisfied, Gataspurha, without hankering for any other material things. I was Kalam Pratikshan Vimado Vimatsara. I was waiting for the time of my at the time when the Lord said you will attain Siddha Deha. Vimado Vimatsaraha. Vimado means without being proud, being humble, and Vimatsaraha without being envious towards anyone. In this way, I was completely absorbed in the Lord without any pride and without envy of any other things, completely chanting and glorifying and traveling without any. So in this way, I was traveling. So absorbed in that Krishna. So when that time has come that the Lord has promised, so I was concentrating only on Krishna and without any material attachment in that pure in mind. So that time has come that I receive my spiritual body. So that just like with that, just like lightning happens, flashing will happen along with the lightning. So some thunderbolt will come, they will hit each other. So that time lightning also will come, and flashing will come. So similarly, as soon as I gave up my material body, I uh, developed my spiritual body. That means there is no pain at all. Simply, very immediately, I have attained spiritual body. I received a spiritual body. So, and so yeah, he was, that spiritual body is like he was like always in that spiritual body. I at that time at the end of previous kalpa I entered into Lord's body along with Brahma, and when Brahmaji is again creating, so at that time I also appeared along with others like Marichi and others. So through that through the when Brahmaji created again, so that time I have appeared again. So here Narada Muni's body is said to be Shuddham Bhagavati Tanu. So my body is completely transcendental. Shuddham Bhagavati means like I don't have material body. It's like completely transcendental body I have attained. And there is no any karma related to previous body. So that was not there. It is like completely transcendental body I have attained, Shuddha Sattva body. And previously also, like in that way I have attained, and in that body I was traveling like a spaceman, always glorifying the Lord's activities, and so he is like a transcendental spaceman, we can say, liberated spaceman. We know that Narmani always travels and instructs everyone about bhakti. So, and so I was endowed with the power that I can travel anywhere inside the universe, outside the universe, with no obstacles at all. And with that, I also completely absorbed in that body to completely serve the Lord. So, with that, when I completely worshipping that Lord, the Lord has, he is like, whenever I chant about the Lord, he appears in my heart. So, whenever I chant about the glories of the Lord, I appear and I have this veena which is given by the Lord, and I play this veena which is having so many ragas, and I based on this I sing the glories of the Lord. When I sing His glories, the Lord, when Lord is so much attracted to my singing that He quickly appears in my heart as if being called. So that means like he's like as a Nardamani, whenever he is glorifying the Lord, Lord always appears in his heart. He is able to perceive the Lord. So Lord is controlled by bhakti. So therefore, without he appears, he whenever he is calling. So and so therefore he says that after saying all his pastime, now again he is instructing Vyasadeva that nice shloka is saying that Yetadhyaturchittanaam matra sparshechayamo bhavasindhuplavo drishto haricharyanu. So etadhi atura chittana. So the living entities in this world, they are always full of anxieties, so much always matra sparshechaya muhu. So they always want to contact their senses muhu continuously. Etadhi atura chittana. They are always anxious to always contact the sense objects. So for them to cross over this material ocean, so the best thing is that Haricharya Anuvarnanam, describing the Harikada, the glories of Lord Hari, is the most efficient way of being able to cross over this material ocean. So therefore, Bhavasindhu, Plavo, Bhavasindhu is ocean of material existence, Plava is boat. So that is Harikada is the most suitable prose boat to cross this material ocean. And so therefore, but there may be other processes like yoga and karma, like yoga, karma and jnana, but they will not completely purify. It says that Yamadivir Yoga Pate Kama Lobha Atom Mukunda sevaya yadvat tatatma adda na shamyati. So there are other processes like yoga, yamadivir including, but persons who are afflicted with kama, lobha and other things, they will not purify as directly as the when one performs devotional service. So very important point he is making, that other processes they may purify to some extent, but they will not completely purify as the bhakti process purifies. Direct service to Lord Mukunda purifies. Tadatma adda nashamyati. So always the direct bhakti process immediately purifies the contaminated person. Other processes will take it will take time. Even other process also will purify according to the amount of bhakti that other process has. So on their own they cannot completely purify. So in this way he has instructed the Vasudev, and he concluding that I have explained all this confidential knowledge about my birth and activities, and therefore so that your mind will be satisfied. So I gave my example so that because you can understand by learning from my past success, that you can understand and you will be able to completely understand. So therefore I have narrated this. So after narrating this, Narada Muni, he took leave from Vyasadeva and departed, playing his veena. So Narada Muni always takes pleasure in glorifying the Lord using always spreading bhakti. So Narada is most fortunate because he is singing and enjoying the glories of, rejoicing in those glories of Krishna by with his veena, and he also gives bliss to the suffering world. So many people are suffering in this world without bhakti, and he awards bhakti by that. He gives bliss for so many people. That is the glory of Narada. So in this way, Narada is instructed. So the first 11 verses of 7th chapter describe what Vyasadeva attained in his vision, and the glories of Bhagavatam will come. So we will discuss that and then. So then Saunakadi Rishis, when they heard that Narada Muni has given like that, they asked that after Narada Muni has departed, what did Vyasadeva do? So then Sutta Goswami started narrating that. So in that Vyasa Muni, in that ashram called as Samya Prasa, so which is like very much favorable for performing sacrifices, which is situated on the western bank of Saraswati River, where so many Brahmanas also took shelter. So there, so many Badri trees are also there. And he performed Achaman and started meditating on the instructions of Narada Muni. And he was meditating on Supreme Lord. So nice shloka will come here. Bhakti yogena manasin samyak pranahite male apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tadapashrayam. Bhakti yogena manasi, his mind is completely filled with bhakti yoga. Samyak pranahite amale, so he saw without any disturbance. Samyak means completely. Bhakti yogena amale, his mind was completely purified by practicing that bhakti, and without any movement. Samyak pranahite, he saw in his mind apashyat. Apashyat means he saw. What he saw? Purusham Purnam. Purna Purushottam Bhagavan. He saw Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, that is Krishna. So Krishna he saw. Purusham Purnam. Later on, 6th shloka also will come. Yasyam vai Shuyamana Krishna Parama Purushe. Based on that, here Parama Purusha, Purusha Puranam, Purna Purusha is implied as Krishna only. So he saw Krishna, and he also saw Maya Ancha Tadapashrayam. He also saw Maya along with Krishna. What is that Maya? Tad Apashrayam. Maya has taken shelter of Krishna, means it depends on Krishna. So when later on in second canto, one more shloka will come, where it is mentioned that when vilajyamanya yasya statum Vilajyamanyasya statum ikshapate amuya. So Maya is so much shy that it will not stand in front of the Lord. It stands behind the Lord. So therefore Maya is standing behind the Lord, and Maya Krishna is also the shelter of Maya. So when he saw Krishna Purusham Purnam, so that also implies that he also saw his Chit Shakti's Purnam Purusham, means complete Lord. Complete Lord includes his Shaktis, his avatars, everything is included. So he saw his Chit Shakti, who is coming from his Swarupa, and all his Amshas and Kalas, all the different incarnations he was able to see. So, like for example, if a person sees a moon, so that means full moon, and Purnima moon, if he saw, so that implies that he also saw the Saptami moon, Ashtami moon, Ekadashi moon. So all those are included in that Purnima. So when he saw Krishna, he also saw all other incarnations also. Amshas and Kalas, they are all included in that scene. But he also, but he the, but therefore Maya is not directly in front of the Lord, therefore it is mentioned separately. Maya is standing besides the Lord, and it is taking shelter of the Lord. And by this Maya, all the jivas are getting bewildered. That is mentioned in the shloka. Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunaatmakam paropi manto anardam tatkrutam chavipadyate. So by that Maya, the jiva get bewildered, and although he is soul, Atmanam Trigunatmakam, he is made up of soul. He is three modes are active. So he is like Paro is superior to the three modes, but still, because of this Maya, the living entity is identifying himself with this body. Paropi Manutva Anardam. So therefore, this is like Anartha is created. Tatkrutam Chavipadyate. Whatever activities performed by Maya, he is thinking that he is considering himself as made up of these three gunas, and the whole material existence created by those gunas, he is thinking those as himself. In this way, he is like bewildered. The jiva got bewildered by this Maya. So basically, these two verses are indicating that what knowledge Vyasadeva saw. He saw Krishna, he saw Jiva separated from Krishna, and how Maya bewildered them, and Maya standing besides Krishna. So these two shlokas are like kind of summarizing the philosophy. Sambandha Jnana it is giving. The Jivas are there, they are bewildered by Maya, and Maya is depending upon Krishna. So therefore, that is the situation he saw. Therefore, situation, this is like analysis, diagnosis. When a patient is diseased, the doctor first analyze the disease. What is the disease? So this disease he identified. Maya, because of Maya, he is identifying himself with this body out of illusion. So what should be the solution that he is giving in the next shloka? Anattopasamam sakshat bhakti yogam adokshade lokasya janato vidvam chakre satpata samhitam. So anattopasam sakshat. So what is the remedy? What is the medicine for this disease? That is bhakti yogam adokshade. So the medicine or the remedy for this anatta of identification with this body and this world is that by performing devotional service to the Lord. But the problem is lokasya janita vidvams. The living entities in this world, they don't know that by performing bhakti they will get relieved. So therefore, chakre sattva samhitam. So for the benefit of the people, he has compiled this Bhagavatam so that people, because in general people don't know that by performing bhakti they will come out of this suffering. So therefore, in order to convince them that bhakti one should perform, so he wrote this Sattva Samhita, that is Bhagavatam. Yasyam Vaishyoyamanayam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhakti Rutpatyate Pumsa Shoka Moha Bhayapaha. So just by hearing that Bhagavatam, Yasyam Vaishruyamanayam. That Satvata Samhita is here referring to Bhagavatam. So it is a Samhita compilation which is in relation to the Satvata, the devotees or the Supreme Lord. So that he composed. And but just by hearing, Yasyam Vaishruyamana, just by hearing that Bhagavatam, what will happen? Two effects will come by hearing Bhagavatam. It is that primary effect is that Krishna Paramapurushe Bhakti Utpadyate. He will develop bhakti towards Krishna. So this is the primary result. And as a secondary result, Shoka Moha Bhayapaha, all the miseries will go away. Shoka is miseries, Moha is illusion, Bhaya is fear. So all these three things will go away by bhakti. So this is the nature of bhakti. So then, we can clearly understand these 3-4 shlokas, Sambandha and Abhideya, like just by how living entities are bewildered by Maya. Maya is separate from Krishna, like Maya is Krishna's energy and living entities are separate from Krishna. So they are bewildered by Maya, but by performing bhakti, they will come out of this anartha. Therefore, Bhagavatam is written. Just by hearing Bhagavatam, that bhakti will be produced. And illusion will also, lamentation as a byproduct will also go away. So in this way he narrated that glories of Bhagavatam. So Shaunikadi Rishi, they asked that Shukadeva Goswami, and he also mentioned that he narrated this Bhagavatam to his son, Shukadeva Goswami, and he made it that he taught that Bhagavatam to Shukadeva Goswami, who is already Brahman realized. So like that he mentioned. So hearing that, Shukadeva Goswami, Saunika Rishi, they asked Suta Goswami that Shukadeva Goswami is already liberated, he is Brahman situated, but still why he took interest in Bhagavatam? So like already Brahman realized, he has already achieved his perfection. So why he need to took again special interest in Bhagavatam? So wonderful question like that he asked. So for that, Suta Goswami is mentioning a nice shloka, Atma Rama shloka, where he is mentioning that Atma Ramashtra Manayo Nirgranda Purakrame Kurvanti Haitukim Bhakti Ittam Bhuta Guna Hari. So even the great Atma Ramas, one who is relishing with their own self, soul, they will also take pleasure in performing bhakti towards the Lord. So that is the nature of the Supreme Lord, Ittam Bhuta Guno Hari. So that is the glories of Krishna, who possesses all these wonderful qualities. So that is the nature. So basically this shloka is like when Sarvam Bhattacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, he gave like 64 explanations for this one shloka. So all those explanations are also quoted in Prabhupada little bit, and Chaitanya Charitamrita is elaborated more. So basically, shloka is mentioning that Hari has so many qualities that Atmarama can imply one who is relishing in body, one who is relishing senses, one who is relishing mind and soul. So all these persons, Munayo can refer to thoughtful persons, liberated persons. Nirgranda refer to wealthy people or poor people, or one who doesn't study, one who has studied well. They all these people will perform devotional service to Lord Hari. So anyone and everyone can perform devotional service to Lord Hari. So even liberated souls also attracted by qualities of God. That is the glory of bhakti. So then he says that Harer Guna Akshitamatir Bhagavan Badarani Adyagan Mahadakyanam Nityam Vishnu Janam Priya. So therefore, Sukadeva Goswami, although he is Atma Rama, his mind was is attracted to the Lord's Hari Guna, like qualities of Lord Hari. So therefore, he studied that great literature and he became Vishnu Janapriya. He became very much dear to his the Lord's Vishnu's devotees, and he also liked all the Vishnu. This is a sign of advancement where one loves devotees and devotees love him. So Shukadeva Goswami became very much dear to devotees. Devotees became very much dear to Shukadeva Goswami because he started relishing this Bhagavatam. So in this way, till here the point of glorification of how Bhagavatam has come to came. So that is explained here. So from next topic onwards, how Parikshit took birth and how he ruled, all those topics will complete. So stop here.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So
Thank you. Thank you.
maybe we will continue the next week. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Chandraj,
Hare
Yes.
Krishna.